From defence to offence, 7 NATO members are considering a more aggressive approach to tackling state-sponsored hacking. They say cyber attacks could also be an option for them. However, there could be some hidden pitfalls, as Murad Gazdiev explains.
First came armies, then navies, air forces next. Now there are cyber armies.
There is a change in the mindset to accept that computers, just like aircraft and ships, have an offensive capability.
In 2014, NATO recognized the need for collective self-defense in the cybersphere. Self-defense. In 2016, NATO recognized the online world as a battleground. Land, air, sea, and the internet. In 2017, they're now talking about offensive capabilities. Offense, attack. Boy, that escalated quickly.
It is inevitable because the way competition works, if someone doesn't do something, then someone else will. And so either you're doing it offensively or you're doing it defensively. So the likelihood of it occurring is very high. And I would say that most responsible heads of state would be on board with such a program.
The United States, Britain, Germany, Norway, Spain, Denmark, and the Netherlands have announced that they'll now respond to alleged cyber attacks with their own. The problem here is not that all these countries shouldn't. They have the right to stand up for themselves. Every nation does. The problem is, how on earth are you going to prove anything?
Given the ability to use proxies and to spoof, it's very difficult to tell where a cyber attack originates from. When the target is able to capture the code that compromised some machine, they can sometimes read the signature of that code and say, oh, that looks like Russian code, or looks like Chinese code, or looks like Israeli code. So they can say it reminds us of, or has sections or modules that look like ones we've seen before. And so that type of forensic analysis can be used to determine the likely source, but you can't tell where the actual payload came from.
That isn't fantasy. Thanks to WikiLeaks, we know that the CIA has an entire mechanism dedicated to impersonating others. They do this by faking digital IDs and by leaving behind traces leading to third parties like China or Russia, which begs the question, how do you respond to your email being hacked when you can't reliably deduce who did it? Do you crash your suspected adversary's bank network or bring down a power plant? Perhaps the national traffic light system? There's nothing, no rules. The cyber world is wilder than the Wild West ever was.